JMJC Radio,
news,
sports,
wrestling,
and much more. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 9 of JMJC Radio. I am your host, Jeremy Chaput. Today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about the results from the Grammy Awards that happened on February 9th. I know I'm late. I'm sorry. I've had a bunch of these plans, so I'm sorry if this one is really late. Anyways, I'm going to go through the award winners who I think should have won some of the awards over other artists. But anyways, let's get into it. For the general field, Record of the Year went to Flowers by Miley Cyrus over Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. Album of the Year went to Midnights by Taylor Swift, which I'm happy about. Song of the Year went to What Was I Made For by songwriters Billie Eilish O'Connell and Phineas O'Connell. My opinion, either Anti-Hero by songwriters Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift should have won, or Flowers by songwriters Miley Cyrus, Gregory Aldihine, and Michael Palak. And Best New Artist went to Victoria Minette over Jelly Roll. Producer of the Year Non-Classical went to Jack Antonoff. And Songwriter of the Year Non-Classical went to Theron Thomas. And by the way, if I do mispronounce any names during this, I am sorry. For Pop and Dance / Electronic, Best Pop Solo Performance went to Flowers by Miley Cyrus. In my opinion, either Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat or Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift should have won. Best Pop Duo / Group Performance went to Ghost in the Machine by SZA featuring Phoebe Bridgers. Best Pop Vocal Album went to Midnights by Taylor Swift, which I'm happy about. Best Dance / Electronic Recording went to Rumble by Skrillex, Fred Again, and Flouden, with Beam, Ellie Doohy, Fred Again, and Skrillex as producers, and Skrillex as the mixer. Best Pop Dance Recording went to Padam Padam by Kylie Minogue, with Lost Boy as the producer and Guy Massey as the mixer. And the Best Dance / Electronic Album went to Actual Life 3, January 1st to September 9, 2022, by Fred Again. For the Rock, Metal, and Alternative category, Best Rock Performance went to Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius. Best Metal Performance went to 72 Seasons by Metallica. Best Rock Song went to Not Strong Enough by Julian Baker, Phoebe Bridgers, and Lucy Dacus. The Best Rock Album went to This Is Why by Paramore. Best Alternative Music Performance went to This Is Why by Paramore. And Best Alternative Music Album went to The Record by Boy Genius. In the R&B, Rap, and Spoken Word Poetry category, Best R&B Performance went to ICU by Coco Jones. The Best Traditional R&B Performance went to Good Morning by PJ Morton featuring Susan Carroll. Best R&B Song went to Snooze by Kenny B. Edmonds, Blair Ferguson, Chris Riddick Ties, Salona Rowe, and Leon Thomas. Best Progressive R&B Album went to SOS by SZA. Best R&B Album went to Jaguar 2 by Victoria Minette. Best Rap Performance went to Scientists and Engineers by Killer Mike featuring Andre 3000, Future, and Aaron Allen Kane. Best Melodic Rap Performance went to All My Life by Lil Durk featuring J. Cole. Best Rap Song went to Scientists and Engineers with Andre Benjamin, Paul Beauregard, James Blake, Michael Render, Tim Moore, and Dion Wilson as songwriters. Best Rap Album went to Michael by Killer Mike. And Best Spoken Word Poetry Album went to The Light Side by Jay Ivy. Moving over to jazz, traditional pop, contemporary instrumental, and musical theater. The best jazz performance went to Tight by Samara Joy. Best jazz vocal album went to How Love Begins by Nicole Zoratis. Best jazz instrumental album went to The Winds of Change by Billy Childs. The best large jazz ensemble album went to Basie Swings the Blues by the Count Basie Orchestra, directed by Scotty Barnhart. Best Latin jazz album went to El Art del Belloro, Volume 2 by Miguel Zenon and Luis Perdomo. Best alternative jazz album went to the Omnichord Real Book by Michelle. Don't ask me how you say the last name, I'm sorry. Best traditional pop vocal album went to Bewitched by Laufey. Best contemporary instrumental album went to As We Speak by Bella Fleck, Zakir Hussain, Edgar Meyer featuring Radkish Chaurasia. And best musical theater album went to Some Like It Hot by Christina Borle, J. Harrison Gee, Adrian Hicks, and Natasha Yvette Williams as principal vocalists, Mary Mitchell Campbell, Brian Carter, Scott M. Rizzett, Charlie Rosen, and Mike Shaman as producers, and Scott Whitman as lyrics, and Mike Shaman as composer and lyrics for the original Broadway cast. Moving over to Country and American Roots category. Best Country Solo Performance went to White Horse by Chris Stapleton, somehow over Fast Car by Luke Combs, sorry. Best Country Duo/Group Performance went to I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan, featuring Casey Musgraves. Best Country Song went to White Horse by songwriters Chris Stapleton and Dan Wilson. Somehow that won over Last Night by songwriters John Byron, Ashley Gorley, Jacob Kasher Hindlin, and Ryan Joztesak as the songwriters for the Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Best Country Album went to Bell Bottom Country by Lainey Wilson. Best American Roots Performance went to Eve Was Black by Allison Russell. Best Americana Performance went to Dear Insecurity by Brandi Clark featuring Brandi Carlile. Best American Roots Song went to Cast Iron Skillet by songwriter Jason Isbell. The song was by Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Best Americana Album went to Weather Vanes by Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Best Bluegrass Album went to City of Gold by Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway. Best Traditional Blues Album went to All My Love for You by Bobby Rush. Best Contemporary Blues Album went to Blood Harmony by Logan Paul. Best Folk Album went to Johnny Mitchell at Newport by Johnny Mitchell. And there was a tie for Best Regional Roots Music Album. The first one being New Beginnings by Buckwheat Zydeco Jr. and the legendary Ils Sont Partis Band. And the second one being Live Orpheum Theater Nola by Lost Bayou Ramblers and the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. Moving over to Gospel and Contemporary Christian. Best Gospel Performance/Song went to All Things by Kirk Franklin. Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance/Song went to Your Power by Lecrae and Tasha Combs Leonard. Best Gospel Album went to All Things New Live in Orlando by Ty Tribbett. Best Contemporary Christian Music Album went to Church Close 4 by Lecrae. And Best Roots Gospel Album went to Echoes of the South by Blind Boys of Alabama. Moving over to Latin, Global, African, Reggae, and New Age, Ambient or Chant category. Best Latin Pop Album went to X Me Volume 1 by Gabby Moreno. Best Música Urbana album went to Manana Será Bonito by KOG. There was a tie for Best Latin Rock or Alternative Album, the first one being Vida Cotidiana by Zwans, and the second one being De Todas las Flores by Natalia Lafourcade. Best Música Mexicana album, including Tejano, went to Genesis by Peso Pluma. Best Tropical Latin album went to Siembra 45 Degree Aniverso El Vivo en el Coliseo del Puerto Rico 14 de Mayo 2022 by Ruben Blades, Robert Delgado, and Orchestra. Best Global Music Performance went to Pistachio by Bella Fleck, Edgar Mayer, and Zakir Hussain featuring Rakesh Cheraseya. Best Latin Music Performance went to Water by Tyla. Best Global Music Album went to This Moment by Shakti. Best Reggae Album went to Colors of Royal by Julian Marley and Antaeus. And the Best New Age Ambience or Chant Album went to So She Howls by Carla Patullo featuring Tonalita and Scorchio Quartet. Moving over to children's comedy, audiobook narrative and storytelling, visual media and music video/film. Best Children's Album went to We Grow Together Preschool Songs by 123 Andreas. Best Comedy Album went to What's in a Name by Dave Chappelle. Somehow that won over I Wish You Would by Trevor Noah and Selective Outrage by Chris Rock. Best Audiobook Narrative and Storytelling Recording went to The Light We Carry, Overcoming in Uncertain Times by Michelle Obama. Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media went to Barbie the Album by various artists. Somehow that won over Black Panther Wakanda Forever by various artists. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Oxa Mix Volume 3 by various artists. Best Soundtrack Album or visual for visual media went to Oppenheimer by Ludwig Göransson. Somehow that won over The Fabelmans by John Williamson. Black Panther Wakanda Forever by Ludwig Göransson, and Barbie by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. Best Score Soundtrack for Video Games and Other Interactive Medium went to Star Wars Jedi Survivor by Stephen Barton and Gordy Habb, which somehow won over God of War Ragnarok by Bear McCreary. Best Song Written for Visual Media went to What Was I Made For from Barbie by Billie Eilish O'Connell and Phineas O'Connell. Somehow that won over I'm Just 10 from Barbie by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt, sung by Ryan Gosling. Best Music Video went to I'm Only Sleeping, The Beatles, with M. Cooper as video director, Jonathan Clyde, Sophie Hilton, Sue Loughlin, and Lauren Thomas as video producers. And Best Music Film went to Montage Daydream, David Bowie, by Brett Morgan as the video director and video producer. Moving over to Package Notes and Historical. Best Historical Album went to Written in Their Soul, the Stax Songwriter Demos by Robert Gordon, Deanie Parker, Cheryl Pawelski, Michelle Smith, and Mason Williams as the compilation producers, Michael Graves as the mastering engineer, Michael Graves as the restoration engineer. Best Album Notes went to Written in Their Soul, the Stax Songwriters Demos, with Robert Gordon and Deanie Parker as the album notes writers. Best Recording Package went to Stumpwork by Luke Brooks and Jamie Thesaurus Jesus Buck as the art directors. And Best Boxed or Special Limited Edition Package went to For the Birds Song Project by Jerry Hayden and John Hayden as the art directors. Moving over to Production Engineer, Composition, and Arrangement, Producer of the Year for Classical went to Elaine Martin, and Best Mix Recording Non-Classical went to Wagging Tongue Wet Leg Remix by Wet Leg Remixers. Best Immersive Audio Album went to The Diary of Alicia Keys with Gregory Massenberg and Eric Schilling as immersive mix engineers, Michael Ramanowski as immersive mastering engineer, Alicia Keys and Ann Minicelli as immersive producers. Best Instrumental Composition went to Helena's Themes by John Williams. Best Engineered Album Classical went to Contemporary American Composers by David Frost and Charlie Post as engineers, Silas Brown as mastering engineer. Best Engineered Album Non-Classical went to Jaguar 2 by John Kersey, Kyle Mann, Victoria Manette. Don't ask me how you say that name. Neil H. Pogue and Todd Robinson as engineers, and Colin Leonard as mastering engineer. Best Arrangement Instrumental or an acapella went to Folsom Prison Blues by John Carter Cash, Tommy Emmanuel, Marcos Ilko, Jeanette Robin, and Robert Louise Rodriguez as the arrangers. And Best Arrangement Instrumental and Vocals went to In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning by Aaron Bentledge, Jacob Collier, Sarah Gazarik, Jayon Kendrick, and Amanda Taylor as the arrangers. And finally, moving over to the last category with multiple nominees. For classical, Best Orchestral Performance went to Addis Dante by Gustavo Duhamel as the conductor for the Los Angeles Philharmonic. Best Opera Recording went to Blanchard Champion by Yannick Nazet-Seguin as the producer, or as conductor, Ryan Speedo Green, LaTonya Moore, and Eric Owens and David Frost as producer, for the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. Best Choral Performance, I can't read any of that, so you will have to look that up yourself. Best Chamber Music / Small Ensemble Performance went to Rough Magic by Roomful of Teeth. Best Classical Instrumental Solo went to The American Project by Yuja Wang and Teddy Abrams. Best Classical Vocal Solo went to Walking in the Dark by Julia Bullock as the soloist and Christina Arif as the conductor with the Philharmonic Orchestra. Best Classical Compendium went to Passion for Bach and Coltrane by Alex Brown, Harlem Quartet, Imani Wins, Edward Perez, Neil Smith, and A.B. Spellman, with Silas Brown and Mark Dover as producers. And Best Contemporary Classical Composition went to Montgomery Rounds by Jesse Montgomery as the composer. And finally, the non-multi-nominee awards. The Music Care Persons of the Year award went to John Bon Jovi. The Lifetime Achievement Awards went to Donna Summer, Gladys Knight, Laurie Anderson, NWA, Tammy Wynette, and the Clark Sisters. The Dr. Dre Global Impact Award went to Jay-Z. And Best Song for Social Change went to Refugee by Kanan, Gerard Eaton, and Steve McEwen. Well, there you guys have it. That's all the award winners. Thank you guys for listening. This has been JMJC Radio with your host, Jeremy Chaput. As my two sayings always go, always shoot your shot before it's too late, and always tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know how much time you'll have left with them. Thank you guys for listening. I will talk to you next time.